Welcome to the bunker. Welcome to the Renegades of Puck podcast. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier, and before we get started on the no half-step in hockey coverage, I first need to direct you to renegadesofpuck.com. That's our home website and your gateway access point to all things Renegades of Puck. Once you're there, click on that merchandise link and you'll gain access to everything in our merchandise store, including our classic logo t-shirts, our Pride logo t-shirts, special events t-shirts. Don't forget our brand new Jam t-shirts that have just come out and all the other great gimmicks you've known from the Renegades of Puck. Socks, throw pillows, wall art, we have it all. After all, we've sold out so that you can buy in. We sure do appreciate each and every one of you for picking up some merch out of our store. Social media is critically important to our operation, and it sure would help us out a lot if you would go to any of our platforms and give us a follow, a like, a subscription, leave a comment, whatever it is. It takes you only a matter of seconds and it doesn't cost you a thing, but it sure goes a long way to helping us. You can see on the graphic, you can find us virtually everywhere. Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, it does not matter. TikTok, the Renegades of Puck are there. So please check it out, give us some support, and help us out in any way that you can. It goes a long way. Venmo is how you become a partner of the Renegades of Puck. You can scan the QR code that's on your screen right now, or you can just go to Venmo and search Renegades of Puck. Thanks to the generous donations of several Renegades of Puck, we were able to put on some great events during the off-season. We look to continue doing so, so please, even $1 helps the Renegades go a long way. So if you can become a partner of the Renegades of Puck, we please ask that you do so by using Venmo. Thank you so much. Stick taps, love, and respect to each of you that has generously donated some of your money along the way. Now, it's time for the no half-step in hockey coverage, so it's time to deliver the goods. It's operation number 633 for the Renegades of Puck. That's right, show number 633. And the Nashville Preds have wrapped up the Global Series and now are on their way home to take on the next opponent, the Dallas Stars, in the home opener at Bridgestone Arena. Once the Nashville Preds take on the Dallas Stars on Thursday night at Bridgestone Arena, they will head to Dallas on Saturday to help the Dallas Stars open up their home schedule. Then the Nashville Preds will be home against the Los Angeles Kings on the 18th, in Columbus against the Blue Jackets on the 20th, against the Philadelphia Flyers on the 22nd at Bridgestone Arena, and also at Bridgestone Arena on the 27th of October versus the St. Louis Blues. Now, for the Nashville Preds and the Dallas Stars, they will meet a total of 4 times this season. This back-to-back to begin the season Thursday and Saturday, then not again until December the 27th when the Nashville Preds will host the Dallas Stars again, and then you got to wait all the way till April the 3rd when the Preds will go into Dallas. Next to last game of the season, I would imagine, based the way things have gone the last several seasons, that's going to be some critical points in the Central Division and playoff race of the Western Conference. So again, the season series wraps up between these two teams on April the 3rd. Dallas has not played a game yet, so I have very little to discuss when it comes to them. Their biggest offseason story, of course, signing Robertson to a 4-year, $31 million deal. They are building the team around him, and they should. He is an incredible young talent, and he usually does very good against the Nashville Predators. The Dallas Stars went 2-5 in the preseason, and they got absolutely obliterated by the Minnesota Wild in their last preseason game. The Dallas Stars were a playoff team last year and finished ahead of the Nashville Preds in the standings, and these two teams have really gotten after each other the last couple of years. It has become quite an intense rivalry. Of course, they played in a playoff series, they played in the Winter Classic against each other, and they have had plenty of competitive divisional games, both in Dallas and in Nashville over the last several seasons. So these are very important games for the Nashville Preds coming up in these next two. Just quickly, the Dallas Stars, they face off against the Nashville Preds in a back-to-back, and then they host the Winnipeg Jets on the 17th. Then they are off on a long road trip to start the season towards the Northeast. They'll be in Toronto, Montreal, and then Ottawa. So for the Nashville Predators, a chance to put some distance between them and the Dallas Stars early. You never know what points are going to be the difference makers come the end. No, you can't win the division right now, but you can certainly do some damage to the teams that you'll be competing with for a full 82-game schedule throughout the season. So with no numbers, no stats, no ranks, no news for the Dallas Stars, I'll just go over the Nashville Predators side of the ledger and tell you everything that happened in the Global Series. There are some numbers coming out of that, and of course, since the Nashville Predators are one of only 2 teams in the NHL to play any games at this point, the joke will only last so long, but goals for the Nashville Predators have 7 on the season. That is an average of 3.5 per game. That is first overall in the NHL. Goals against, the Preds have only given up 3. That's 1.5 per game. That is, of course, first in the NHL. Shots for per game, the Nashville Predators are averaging only 25 per game. We saw that number drip dip quite a bit in Game 2 against San Jose. Shots against 32 per game for the Nashville Predators. The power play, 0 for 7 so far through 2 games. The penalty kill, though, 7 for 8, 1 power play goal against. On the statistics side of things, Nino Niederreiter leads the team in both goals and points, 3 goals and 3 points. Ryan McDonough has 2 assists and 2 points on the season. Granlund, 2 assists and 2 points. Sherwood, 1 goal and 1 assist. Forsberg, 1 goal and 1 assist. Tolvanen, 1 goal and 1 assist. And Matt Duchene, 1 goal and 1 assist. That's all the players with 2 points. There are others with 1, but I'm not going to go down the whole list. UC Saros is 1-0 on the season with a goals against average of 1, save percentage of 9.68 after 1 game, 30 out of 31. Kevin Lankinen, 1-0, goals against average of 2, save percentage of 9.39, 31 out of 33 in his start against the San Jose Sharks. We'll recap his entire performance throughout the rest of this episode. There is some news for the Nashville Predators that's coming out today on Sunday, and they had to get their roster shaved down to 23. They were allowed to bring some extra players on the European Global Series trip, and they had to go ahead and make some cuts, and they have done so, and one name really stands out. Let me give you the whole list, and then we'll discuss. McKeon, Jankowski, Huntington, Gravel, and Gross, all of them have been waived, and the last name is the one that's really going to stand out to each and every one of you, and that's Connor Ingram. Now, Connor Ingram, of course, last year against the Colorado Avalanche, came in and played the best that he could, put up one hell of a performance, did the same thing in Milwaukee with the Admirals in the AHL playoffs, but Connor Ingram being the third goalie right now for the Nashville Predators, it does not appear that he was going to get an opportunity, and with Askarov coming along as quickly as he is, now you have Askarov and Cooley in Milwaukee, so Connor Ingram was just the odd goaltender out. Very well-liked human being and person and player here in Nashville and throughout the system, but it does not appear that he's going to be a part of the system. He has been put on waivers, which means, of course, a team now has an opportunity to claim any of the players that I just mentioned to you. But I think Connor Ingram is the one that stands out the most, and he will probably get picked up by someone else. Good luck to him. It was a great run and a lot of fun to have him here, and who knows, the way the NHL works and the way goaltenders are recycled, the Nashville Predators may end up crossing paths with Connor Ingram again. So that gets you all set up after the 2-game global series between the Nashville Predators and the San Jose Sharks. That gets you the numbers, the stats, the standings, and all of that with a limited sample size and the league not playing yet outside of the global series. Pretty easy to get you caught up on everything going on. But after the first weekend of action, the Nashville Predators are 2-0. They have 4 points, are in first place, and that's not a bad way to start the season. It's now time for the Rebirth Sports full game recap. Rebirth Sports, you can check out their work for yourself at rebirthsports.com, or you can find them on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and of course Instagram. Right now I'm wearing the 3rd jersey here for the Renegades of Puck in the bunker. You've seen me wearing the home jersey, the road jersey plenty of times, and you've seen plenty of Renegades of Puck modeling all 3 of those jerseys. I love when you post those pictures on social media. Well, Rebirth Sports is the hockey tailor that makes those visions reality, and that's who is the partner for the Renegades of Puck, where we get all of our jerseys made. As a matter of fact, we have a jersey sale going on right now and a hoodie sale that'll be going on through October the 15th. You see the email address on the screen right there. Just go ahead and email me and tell me what you're interested in getting. I'll get you the rest of the information, the pricing, all of that good stuff. So Rebirth Sports, though, that's who makes all of that stuff for us, and they're incredible partners. Again, I call them hockey tailors. I call them visionaries that make things into reality. They are awesome people to work with, and I'm so appreciative of everything that they do here in the trenches for the Renegades of Puck. Now, let's go all the way back to October the 8th of the year 2022 when the Nashville Predators were taking on the San Jose Sharks in Prague in the 2nd game of the NHL Global Series. John Hines deploys his lines in the following way, and this was something we talked about and theorized on the previous episode. No changes in the top 12 forward grouping from game 1. Normally, when you have a back-to-back like this, especially when you have a waiver and exemption to have extra players on your roster at the time, you expect there to be changes in the next game, but there were not. The forward grouping played such a good team game that I'll go ahead and read their names off and give them the respect they deserve for that. Forsberg, Granlund, and Duchene make up your first line. Niederreiter, Johansson, and Sherwood start out as your second line. Trennan, Sissons, and Janot, the hard line, of course, your third line. Smith, Glass, and Tolvanen, they're fast, they're tough, and impactful. Yossi, Carrier, Ekholm, McDonough. Luzon is the only change in the lineup for the Skaters. He comes in for Mark Borowiecki as we had anticipated, and Fabro will be his D pair on the 3rd D set. Lankinen, of course, gets the start over UC Saros in this game as expected. We are just 6 seconds into the game, and hurdles off to the box, 2 minutes 4 high, sticking on Johansson right off of the opening faceoff, and the pucks are just simply not getting through on this power play, not at all. 3:08, Trennan's off to the box, 2 minutes 4 interference. Lankinen seals the post on hurdle plus his jam opportunity. 5:27 to the the first period. Duchesne hits the crossbar. Kokkonen never saw that puck at all. San Jose is playing a much tighter first period than yesterday in the D zone. As a matter of fact, they look like the fresher team of the two teams, considering they're playing in back-to-back in less than 24 hours. 8:53 of the first period. Jeannot puts a big hit that wows the crowd. We've gotten to see it plenty of times in Nashville, but it always brings the people to their feet wherever they get a chance to see it. 11:06 of the first period. Cunnin takes the puck to the net hard, and Lankinen comes up with the big save. 13:12 of the first period. Jeannot's off the box, 2 minutes for hooking. Former Nashville Predator Luke Cunnin gets his first goal of the season. It was a rebound of his own shot. Strong hands around the net. He had 3 total touches of the puck before any Nashville Predator could even make an attempt at disruption. San Jose holds a 1-0 lead over the Nashville Predators. 19:18 of the first period. Forsberg is stopped by Kokkonen off of the rush. 19:29. Lankinen makes a save off of LeBanc in the low slot. San Jose outshoots Nashville in the first period 11-7 and also holds a 1-goal lead. We're 49 seconds into the second period, and Sherwood hits the post from a sharp angle. 4:35 in the second period. Niederreiter's got his second goal of the season. Johansson's backhand, then Niederreiter's follow-up leads to the first shot of the period going into the net for the Nashville Predators, tying the game up at 1 apiece. And, Niederreiter has now scored a goal in each game of the season for the Nashville Predators. At 4:45 of the second period, Couture is on the board for the San Jose Sharks, as he has done so many times against the Nashville Predators before. His first goal of the season gives San Jose a 2-1 lead. Dante Fabro with a bad turnover, and Couture gets the finish from the high slot. It happens that quickly in the NHL. Fabro trying to get the puck out of the zone, and he turns it over into the neutral zone. The Sharks turn around, bring it right back in. One pass, one shot, back of the net. 2-1 in favor of San Jose. But Philip Forsberg would respond almost immediately at 6:29 of the second with his first goal of the season. He got his own rebound, took it behind the net for the wraparound and finish, and he got there before anyone else could. The defenseman, the goaltender's pad, everything coming crashing towards the post. The puck, though, gets over the goal line before any of that could arrive. San Jose and Nashville now tied at 2 apiece in the second period. 10:04 of the second period. Niederreiter's off to the box. 2 minutes for boarding. Lankinen comes up with a helmet save on Meyer and manages to direct the puck out of play in order to not only get the stoppage, but for the Nashville Predator to get a change on the penalty killers. Incredible situational awareness there by the backup goaltender of the Nashville Predators. 12:13 in the second period. Niederreiter's on the board again. His second goal of the game, his third goal of the season. A perfect cross-crease pass from Tolvanen, and then a patient finish as Niederreiter just waited for the goaltender to move just a little bit out of position and then easily picked the top corner. Niederreiter, a sniper for his third goal of the season, giving the Nashville Predators a 3-2 lead. Now, this happened just after Niederreiter's penalty expired. He came out of the box and joined the rush. That's why he was out there with Tolvanen, at least at this point in time. 13:13 in the second period. Magnus off the box, 2 minutes for interference. Johansson's strong work on the first power play unit, but no conversion. We go to the second intermission. San Jose still out shooting Nashville 18-15, but we have a tied hockey game. 2:01 of the third period. Luzon's off to the box, 2 minutes for interference. It was the chicken wing play by Nieto. You know how much we hate that play here in the bunker, but it worked this time, and it drew the Sharks a power play. Lankinen comes up with a huge save on the bank. Lankinen comes up with another huge save on Carlson's one-timer, and then Trennan's strong PK shift even leads to a scoring chance off of the rush shorthanded. 6:05 of the third period. Benning's off to the box, 2 minutes for tripping on glass. Sharks get a strong PK and one shorthanded shot as the Nashville Predators are unable to convert yet again. 11:55 of the third period. Lankinen comes up with a save on Sturm. The Sharks are out shooting Nashville 10-2 at this point in the third period. 15:51 of the third. Lankinen comes up with a save on Ferraro's one-timer at the end of a long shift by the Herd. They got caught out there on the ice for quite some time. Empty net scenario starts with 2:26 remaining in the game. At 18:53, Lankinen comes up with a save on Meyer. The Preds are under siege at this point for the final 1:07. As a matter of fact, at one point, the puck leaks through Lankinen, and McDonough gets behind him on the goal line and protects the situation. Great to see the defenseman using his leadership and his experience right there to keep everything nice and calm. The buzzer finally goes with the Nashville Predators getting a 3-2 victory over San Jose, sweeping the global series, taking all 4 points that were available, and they were outshot 33-18 overall in this game. but 15-3 in the third period. Now listen, that is not a way you are going to be successful on a regular circumstance in the NHL. You are just not going to win games night in and night out by being outshot 15-3 in the third period. You got to give the stick taps to Lankinen in this one. He held strong in the third period exactly when he needed to and did exactly what you asked your backup goaltender to do. Now, it was the second day of back-to-backs, and it was the opening of the season, so no doubt that's why this team looked a little bit sluggish early on in the game, but the Predators did what they had to do. They came back from down 1-0. They came back from down 2-1. They won the game 3-2, and they collected all 4 possible points on the road against the San Jose Sharks in the Global Series. It was a great experience. It was a lot of fun to watch. The start times were a little bit unusual of 1 o'clock Central, but we all got through that just fine. Some of the broadcast difficulties at times were a little bit irritating, but considering how many moving parts there were, considering they were on multiple continents, I think that the crew did as good a job as they could have possibly done. And overall, I think that it came across pretty great, and I think that a lot of people will talk about it and remember it for a long time. It's just the Nashville Predators delivering the goods on another high-profile event. They've continued to do that throughout their franchise's history, whether it is the All-Star Weekend, whether it is the Winter Classic, whether it's the Stadium Series. It does not make a difference. You put the Nashville Predators in an opportunity to shine on a high-profile stage, and they're going to do so, and they did a great job going to play their last preseason game in SC Bern. Roman Josi getting to go back and play in his hometown, and then getting to play in the Global Series against the Sharks. The crowds were into it. They were having a great time, and it looks like everybody truly enjoyed the experience. So for the Nashville Predators, they finally, because remember, the Global Series had to be postponed for the Predators. They finally get to go play the games that they were supposed to get the chance to play in, and now they're on their way back here right now. They'll get at least a day to rest, but they've got to ramp things up quickly because the Dallas Stars are going to be hungry and ready for the Nashville Predators, and they had a chance to sit back and watch the Preds in the first 2 games of the season and do a little bit of extra and additional scouting. Let's talk about some of the things and the performances that happened in this game. Lankinen, 31 out of 33, gave up 2 goals, and on a better team, he's a better goalie. I made that note because I was thinking about some of the critiques of his performances in the past when he was with the Chicago Blackhawks. The Chicago Blackhawks were a brutally bad defensive team, and I don't know that Lankinen's properly judged for his performance when it comes to being on that team. What I do know so far since he's been with the Nashville Predators, he's been very solid, he's been very stable, and it would appear that on a better team like the Nashville Predators are and the Chicago Blackhawks with a better defense, and now with the addition of Ryan McDonough in front of him, I think that Lankinen's going to be a very good backup goaltender here for the Nashville Predators. Now, can they get the 20 to 23 games out of him that they would really like to get to keep UC Saros from getting overextended? That's to be found out. But through 1 game, 1-0, and things are looking good. And that strong performance right there, 15 out of 15 in the third period, that sealed Connor Ingram's fate now. It's unfortunate. Again, I've already talked about Connor Ingram a couple of times, but with the rise of Askarov and UC Saros being the franchise goaltender right now, they wanted an experienced backup, so that's where Lankinen slots in. That's 3 of your 4 spots in the organization, and Cooley showed that he is coming along very nicely as the next prospect in Milwaukee. So that's how the fate for Connor Ingram was sealed. Let's turn it over to Mostradamus. Mosh has the wrap-up of both games. He's talking about UC Saros and Lankinen's performance. You know him. He's the starting goaltender of the Renegades of Puck. You can find him on Twitter at GreekGoalie35. He is the one and only Mostradamus.
Thank you very much, Charlie. The Preds did, quite frankly, what they needed to do, and that's get a sweep of the 2 games out in Prague over the San Jose Sharks. Of course, 4-1 the night before, and then 3-2 today. Of course, the season opener, UC Saros, stopped 30 of 31 shots, and for a change, the Preds didn't have to depend on UC Saros to get the job done and get the victory. They got out to a 3-1 lead and really just shut down any opportunity the Sharks had of making a comeback in the third period, really clamped down defensively, didn't give up any real high-quality chances for the Sharks to get any sniff of an opportunity to try to get back in that game, and then, of course, the empty net goal. The one goal he did give up to Thomas Hertl was off a scramble in front of the net. Hertl finds the puck off a feed by Cunnin and absolutely roofs it bar down to beat UC Saros. Took a perfect shot to beat him on that night, but UC Saros solid once again. We know what we're going to get out of him, and again, hoping for about 60 starts. Now, if he's going to only start 60 games this season, you need a backup goaltender that's going to get the job done, and so far, Kevin Lankinen, through camp, through preseason, has shown that he is well worthy to be the backup goaltender and to give him some decent rest. Well, first regular season action, Kevin Lankinen, the Preds leaned on him heavily. Yes, 31 out of 33 shots for Kevin Lankinen. 33-18, the Preds were outshot in Game 2 of this back-to-back scenario. So not a whole lot of difference with the amount of shots the Preds gave up, but it was the quality of chances that the Predators gave up. And Kevin Lankinen stood very strong between the pipes. You can't say enough about his performance because the Preds, just clinging to a one-goal lead, really parked the bus, so to speak, in their own zone, didn't generate any offense whatsoever. As a matter of fact, they were outshot 15-3 in the third period of that game, clinging to that one-goal lead, trying to hang on. And Lankinen, through some spectacular goaltending, made it stand up. The 2 goals he did give up, the power play goal to Luke Kunin, needed a second rebound opportunity by Kunin to get that one past. He stopped the initial shot. Rebound went to Kunin in front. He makes a fantastic left pad save. But Kunin, nobody marking him, has a chance to gather that rebound as well and deposit it for the first goal for San Jose in the first period. Second goal, I'll put this one on Lankinen, but again, this is very nitpicky because of how strong of a game he had. The second goal should not have happened. Logan Couture, 10 seconds after the Preds tie the game up. It's a one-timer. It's Logan Couture. Couture is one of the best players in the league, but he was quite frankly caught flat-footed on this one. He wasn't expecting a shot on goal on that rush like that. Probably thought that Couture would skate in a little bit more and not shoot it right away. But here's the thing about NHL goaltending. If you lose an ounce of concentration, if you are off by a hair concentrating and not ready for that puck, it is going in the back of the net. It takes less than 0.1 seconds for that puck to get from Logan Couture's stick into the back of the net past that goal line. So a slight lapse in concentration by Kevin Lankinen, but quite frankly, he made up for it the rest of the day. Just magnificent between the pipes. Again, you can't say enough about what a job he did when the Preds really, whether they were just flat in the third period or just trying to hold on to that lead, or the Sharks just frankly outskated them. Whatever the case is, Kevin Lankinen, congratulations on your first victory as a Nashville Predator. That's about all I have. Like I said, the Preds needed to get 4 points out of these 2 games against an inferior opponent, and that's exactly what they did. You can't ask for anything more than that. Yes, it's not going to be perfect the first couple games of the season. 4 points is 4 points. You take them, you come back across the sea, and get right back at it, get some rest, and continue on with the regular season. Charlie, back to you.
You can find him on Twitter at GreekGoalie35. You can watch him right here on Renegades of Puck TV and listen to him on the Renegades of Puck podcast. He is, of course, the starting goaltender of the Renegades of Puck, the one and only Mostradamus. Sure to appreciate Moss jumping in the trenches with me and taking care of that wrap-up for the weekend. You know who else I appreciate being in the trenches with us? And that's Strong Style Fit. Strong Style Fit helped us secure studio space, helps us with our live events, and helps the Renegades of Puck stay in shape. I urge you to check out all of the work by Strong Style Fit by going to strongstylefit.com or finding Strong Style Fit on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. A certified personal trainer with over 150 workouts on a YouTube page completely free to each and every one of you Renegades. I encourage each and every one of you, whatever level you are on, there is a workout for you. Trust me, this is the trainer you've been looking for. Strong Style Fit can help you. Get to know Strong Style Fit by going and checking out the website, checking out the YouTube page, and finding out more information for yourself. She's going to get you started. She's going to help you get motivated and moving. Tracy does a great job over at Strong Style Fit. We're incredibly thankful to have such great partners here in the trenches with the Renegades Puck. A couple other performances that I want to discuss from over the weekend, especially from this game too. Nino Niederreiter with 2 more goals, now 3 goals on the season in 2 games. He's feisty and he's determined, and he's exactly what the Nashville Predators need. Now listen, I know that a lot of people really liked Luke Kunin and some of the other players that have been on the wing for the Nashville Predators the last couple of years, but their subtraction and Nino Niederreiter's addition is exactly what this team needed. This has been a playoff team. This has been a team that needs to find the next gear and needs to find the next level, and Nino Niederreiter should be nicknamed the next gear. He really is impressive to watch out there, and through 2 games, he is exactly what I expected, and he is delivering the goods. Can he keep up this type of goal-scoring pace? Well, I mean, hell, wouldn't that be great? So probably not. 3 goals, 2 games over the course of a season. There's going to be lulls, but he's off to a great start, and he's playing the game the way we expected. He's playing the game hard. He's playing physical. Yes, he got a boarding penalty, but he's also got 3 goals on the season in 2 games. He is going to get quite the ovation when he gets to Bridgestone Arena. Tolvanen, want to talk about him. 2 points in 2 games, impactful every shift. He started game 1 on the 4th line, played the game 1 on the 4th line the whole way through. Now in game 2, suddenly found himself bounced up to the second line, made a perfect pass for Nino Niederreiter to score a goal, and then stayed on that second line the rest of the way. I think that Eeli Tolvanen's probably going to stay on that second line moving forward. There is something different about the completeness of his game now. The first year he was up, as brief as it was, he showed the goal scoring and offensive ability that he had. All of last year, he showed how he can do all of the little things and detailed things, play physical, be solid on the puck, and do all of the things you want out of a player. And now, it would appear, at least through the first two games, my eyes are seeing that he is putting it all together, all at one time, right in front of us. And that was what we were hoping for going into Season 3. So Eeli Tolvanen on the second line with Niederreiter and Johansson going forward. I'd like to see that get some more opportunities. Now, I mentioned that, and of course that means Sherwood went from the second line to the fourth line. So from the story of the game in Game 1 to being bounced down to the fourth line in Game 2, no disrespect, and I don't think that he should take it in any way. I think that he should go take his fourth line minutes and take the opportunity to grow and learn, and then next year he could be the player moving up to the second line. You have to take the minutes you're given. You have to take the opportunity when it is given. Tolvanen has taken that opportunity better than probably any player on this team so far, not named Nino Niederreiter. So that wraps up those couple of thoughts. Now for the team itself, the power play 0 for 7. There's a lot of good things happening, but there's no finish right now. The first power play unit looks like it's going to be very effective once it gets connecting. The second power play unit's a work in progress and an experiment, but I also think it's going to find itself some success, and it's good to see Tanner Jeannot getting himself some power play minutes. We talked about that a lot last year. One of the things that held him back in the Calder discussions was the fact that Tanner Jeannot simply never played on the power play, so he never got the opportunity to get those easier man advantage points than some of the other high-skilled rookies around the NHL were able to get. So the power play's a work in progress after 2 games. I'm not going to be too critical of it, but 0 for 7, it just kind of jumps off the page at you, and it's not a great look. The identity of this team, the compete level of this team, the Hines way, head coach John Hines, there have been detractors since he has gotten here, and I hear them less and less all the time now. The more behind-the-scenes footage that we see of head coach John Hines, I think the more appreciation everybody is starting to get for him. The Predators have done an incredible job now of showing exactly what John Hines does, how he coaches, how he manages the players, how he talks to them, what his expectations are. He's very good with the media. He's willing to answer questions, discuss his philosophy. Frankly, I was one of the people who questioned the hiring of John Hines in the beginning. I've come around fairly quickly because of several of the things that I just mentioned. The Hines way is in full effect right now, and you can see with the addition of a player like Nino Niederreiter, this head coach is getting players that fit the system rather than trying to just jam some random free agent high scorer into a system that doesn't work, like perhaps the Nashville Predators did with Peter Laviolette when he was the head coach. It's undeniable the turnaround that Mikael Granlund has had as a Nashville Predator since John Hines took over the team. The Hines way, so far, is succeeding. Regular season, this should be a really, really good team if they continue to play the way they did through the first 2 games. But just one final thought, don't make too much of it, because the San Jose Sharks were one of the worst teams in the Pacific Division, one of the worst teams in the Western Conference last year. So for the Predators, good job winning those 2 games, and it looks like their identity is well established, but let's not get too far over our skates about it. Stripe Digital Solutions, another great partner of the Renegades of Puck. Please check out Stripe Digital Solutions by going to stripedigitalsolutions.com or Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Stripe Digital Solutions maintains the website renegadesofpuck.com. Also has helped me build my social media brand, has sent me a large, massive document full of great tips and information about how I can continue building my social media brand and helping build my platforms up even more. It takes a great and strong digital partner in today's business world. If you're going to run a project, you're going to run a small business, you're going to need the best, and Stripe Digital Solutions is the very best. Check them out for yourself, or just check out literally anything we're doing here with the Renegades of Puck. All of our graphics, our t-shirts, our website, all helped, managed, and run and created by Stripe Digital Solutions. Brian Baston runs the Renegade Analytics desk. He's from ontheforecheck.com. He's got the numbers you need to know and the charts you need to see, and he's right here in the trenches with the Renegades of Puck.
Thanks a lot, Charlie. Well, the Predators head back to the United States today after sweeping the Global Series over the San Jose Sharks in both Games 1 and Game 2. However, the story of the two teams that won those games in Prague couldn't be more different. Obviously, yesterday I talked about how Nashville had identified weaknesses in James Reimer's game and used high shot quality and a lot of shots directed right, in the crease to be able to beat the Sharks, at their own game there. And so the next game we expected a lot more of the same, but with San Jose bringing out Capo Kakinen instead of James Reimer, obviously they couldn't attack in the same type of way. But if you look at the stats and you look at the box score, a lot more things change other than just who the goaltender was for San Jose. Now we'll talk about what those differences were and how those things were affected. How affected the final tally in the game, not just on the score sheet, but also how many shots, things like that. So that's going to be the topic of today's one big stat. Now, like I said before, this was a very different game. Nashville actually finished the game being outshot at 5-on-5, 14-18, which doesn't seem like too much. But if you go to all situations, including the power play and the penalty kill, they were outshot 18-33. Again, they had really bad shot quality this game. It was nowhere near. There was one goal, obviously, that was right there next to the net, but the other two goals at 5-on-5 came from inside the right circle. So this wasn't the same kind of strategy that we saw in the first game where they were attacking the net, trying to create deflections. And plus, with San Jose outscoring them, what happened was, were the Nashville Predators lucky? Did Kevin Lankinen stand on his head? I'd argue a little bit. Yes, he did, and give him credit where credit's due, but Nashville was able to take control in this game as when they took they scored their third goal. But what happened after that kind of skews the perception of the rest of the game. Now, the San Jose Sharks and the Nashville Predators had kind of bounced back and forth on shot attempts throughout the first period. Nashville had led until San Jose's very first goal, which came after a flurry of attempts that were unanswered by the Predators. After that, the game started to slowly tip back towards Nashville way as Nashville had dipped back into leading on shot attempts midway through the second period after the second goal. After the third goal was scored, however, that's when things took off. Nashville had a little bit of a run. Again, they got more attempts as they headed to the end of the second period. But when the third period started, as we all know, the San Jose Sharks came out with a ton of shots. In fact, at all strengths in the third period, they were outshot in just attempts 15-3, and not in attempts, but in shots on goal 15-3. Now, does that mean that Nashville struggled? Was the defense not helping out? Was the offense completely just sputtering out? There's a possibility, yes, that they could have. However, what I think happened is that obviously we see something called score effects. And score effects are basically when you see these final tallies and you say how many shots that the team gave up, a lot of times it's because the other team is trying really, really hard to get back and try to erase that lead. Nashville obviously was not wanting to make any mistakes, so they played a little safe. And for yesterday, that did work for the Predators. Thanks to guys like Kevin Lankinen and some of the Predators defenders, but you can't always do this. And if this sounds familiar to you, this does seem a whole lot like what we saw under Coach Peter Laviolette, and that the Preds turtled in the third period. And that's a fair criticism to make. Obviously, the offense kind of disappeared in the third period as they struggled to hold on even to the very last moment. But they did do the work in the first two periods to get them there, that lead. So that's good that they were able to protect that lead. But going forward, I would like to see Nashville continue to be aggressive. With just a 1-goal lead and with an entire period left, they really can't afford, especially against much better teams in San Jose, which there should be a lot. They should definitely try to continue to keep that offense on, keep that top line out there, exploit matchups, and try to get more goals on the board, because it is a lot easier to sit back and turtle and protect the lead when you've got multiple scores ahead of your opponent. And that's today's one big stat. Back to you, Charlie.
He's got the numbers you need to know and the charts you need to see from ontheforecheck.com. He's the one and only Brian Basson. You can check him out on Twitter at Brian Basson. I encourage you to give Brian a follow. The Ulti One, he's been down at the IMAX experience all weekend long, checking it out. The Nashville Predators had the Global Series on the big screen at the IMAX Theater here in the Middle Tennessee area. Many Renegades of Puck have been out there on the front lines. You've heard a couple of first-hand accounts and reports from there. Well, now you're going to see a couple of clips from there. We were saving these up for today so you can get a little bit of feel for what happened with the IMAX experience. You'll hear the Ultimate One in there. You just won't see him on this particular time. Check this out.
That's one! That's two! Thank you, Kakinen! May we have another! He shoots! He scores! You suck! Kakkonen! 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 You suck! It's all your fault! It's all your fault! It's all your fault!
Just a couple of clips right there from the Ultimate One and the IMAX experience from over the weekend. That's a pretty incredible event the Nashville Preds were able to put on, having the Global Series shown in the local IMAX theaters here in Middle Tennessee. That is a wonderful, wonderful thing. A lot of Renegades had a lot of great things to say about it. Ships and Trips Travel, that's what I want to tell you about real quick. You have got to check them out, shipsandtripstravel.com. They have all of the information, all of the intel about the road trip of a lifetime. The Renegades of Puck are going to Las Vegas on New Year's Eve, and then we'll be attending the Nashville Predators versus the Vegas Golden Knights on New Year's Day. To get in on the fun, go to shipsandtripstravel.com. Listen, there are limited spots, and they're going to fill up, so you're going to want to get in there, get your reservation taken care of now, and be a part of the group, be a part of the fun. This is going to be a legendary event and a legendary experience, going out to Vegas on New Year's Eve and then also catching a Nashville Predators game. We're going to have a great time. We're going to have a lot of fun. It's just the beginnings of our partnership with Ships and Trip Travel. So I ask you, please go to the website and check it out. One of the things I'm hinting at, they've got it posted right there. I'm not promoting it quite yet, but if you want to go to paradise with the Renegades of Puck next summer, you'll be able to get all the information for that right there at shipsandtriptravel.com. Please go check them out. They're great people and they're great partners for the Renegades of Puck. For the Ultimate One, for Brian Baston, for Sean C. Smith, who unfortunately had his cable line cut earlier today and wasn't able to appear on the show, for Mostradamus, for Rachel K., and for each and every one of the Renegades of Puck. I sure do appreciate you guys joining us all weekend. Great first weekend of coverage here from the bunker. The views are up, the interactions are up, and we're doing a great job so far, and you're doing a great job so far. We can build this thing together. We can take this where it needs to go and build it out as big as it needs to be. A hockey community built on positivity. The Renegades of Puck are all about the no-half-stepping lifestyle. So I cannot wait for us to continue building this more and more. We started this just a year ago, and we had 0 subscribers. Now we have nearly 200 subscribers to the YouTube page alone, and all the other platforms are building every day. Please check us out on all of our social media platforms. Check out the audio version of the podcast. Check out the video version of the podcast. Click on it all. The more you click on it, the better it is for the Renegades of Puck, and the more that we can accomplish, and the quicker we are going to get and achieve our next set of goals. Together, we can achieve anything. Appreciate each and every one of you. I sure do love each and every one of you. Stick taps, love, and respect, my good friends, my good Renegades. I'm your host and captain, Crazy